the whole military is quite a dark sense of humor, right? Because I've noticed, I've interviewed Martin Stapleton, who you know, 50 Cal. I've interviewed Jay Morton.
Love Stapes. Love Stapes.
And I've interviewed Ollie. And I've got on quite famously with them. And I'm always like, I've never been in the military. I'm not cut out for that. But I always get on quite famously with them. And I think it's because I've got that dark sense of humor as well.
Yeah, and that will never leave me. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's having a laugh at my expense, having a laugh at other people's expense. And again, their words. You know, I'll say it again. I'm old school. And again, I'm old school because it works for me. Sticks and stones will break my bones. You know, you can call me anything. You have a laugh about my height, laugh about my, you know, whatever you want to laugh about. Yeah. And I'll laugh about myself. Yeah. But also, you know, this whole, I think this again, you know, bringing what works for me. You know, I'm still sort of like this strong and silent type. You know, this it's like everything's now strong but not silent. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, yeah, I agree. If that works for you, by all means, talk. You know, please do, because you don't know if it's going to help you unless you do talk. Okay, but I've been
could be a start.
100%, 100%. I've been through it. I've been and talk. Okay, talk. It doesn't work for me. I'm rather just crack on. You know, acknowledge what's gone on, leave it in the past, and move forward. So I'm still this sort of old, you know, and I think that's so not welcome in society. It's so not the political agenda as well. It's so not. It's not. There's not this, you know, the agenda in society where, you know, that where I'm strong and silent. That it's like, oh, that goes against everything that we're trying to say. And I'm not saying, but no, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's just me. So don't say it's to think that because I be that you should be offended because you don't do that. It's like you crack on with what you want to do, because ultimately, you know, everyone's different. But that works for me.
I think a lot of people, they expect them from other people. You don't expect you from anybody else, right?
You know what? And that's why I get so much shit in the media. Because I'm bulletproof, because they know that they can go at me and go at me and go at me, and it will bounce off of me. If I was to go, do you know what, guys, I suffer from PTSD. If I had this victim mentality, I suffer from PTSD. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what I've experienced in war, blah, blah. You watch, the media would just go, everyone would pull off, and no one would cancel me. No one would. I could play that card all day long. I could play that PTSD and I go, oh, and they'd feel sorry for me. Then I'd be like, what are you feeling sorry for? Do you know what I mean? It's just because I'm like, no, do you know? Yeah, bring it on. They feel like they can get both barrels out and keep firing away at me. But the moment if I did come out with the old victim mentality and the PTSD card and you watch, everyone would soon pull off, because then I'd be fit. Then I'd fit into their political agenda. I would fit into their box and not mine, because they can't put me in a box because I don't fit I don't belong in the box.
How did you talking about family? How does your wife deal with all this? Is she probably stronger than you, I bet, right?
Do you know what? We're so compatible. We're so don't get me wrong, when it starts affecting her, like these last sort of comments, you know, about what I supposedly had said about, you know, I'm like, well, bring them forward. Who let me not what someone else has heard. Tell me if I've offended someone. If it's not direct, but then it's like, well, who did you say that to? Why have you said lured and suggestive? I'm like, Emily, go back to who I am. Think about no matter when you ever first met me and I was drunk, and have I ever been sleazy? Have I ever been that type? No. Have you ever seen me? No. Am I really polite? Am I really confident? Am I super polite? And I am. So that could be, you know what I mean? It's like, so again, with my wife, don't get me wrong, you know, we've got a great, it's times get hard, but we always communicate, Paul. It's so important. I go, listen, talk to me. I'll tell you. And then, you know, when I'm I go, do you know what? No, I did say that, but it was meant in this way. It was meant in that, you know, and it's like, well, you need to stop doing that. You know, you but I'm like, but the moment you tell me to stop doing something, and I know that, you know, it's like telling a kid not to press a big red button. I'm just like, you know, and I've got two things that I live by. You know, I don't go out to offend people. So if you choose to get offended, that's your problem, not mine. Do I give a shit? No. Be offended all you want. And I'd never go out to hurt people. You know, my actions are never malicious. So I never go out to do my actions. Are just like, they could be fun, they could be, and as long as I stick to that in my head, then if you choose to get offended, if you choose to be offended by what you've seen and what you've heard, then guess what? That's over to you. That's not my problem. That's your problem.
Yeah, I love it. You have a tremendous amount of certainty, right? You've got this, you know, deep down that this is who you are. I'm going to say what I think. And I think the thing is, when you're in your position, you're going to have just as many people talking shit about you, but you've also got these people who love what you do.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know what? And it's because I do get things wrong. I'm not saying that I'm going around and I'm always right. I do get, but when I get things wrong, it's like, put my hand up to, like when I went to prison, it's like, and didn't even need to go to guilty. Yeah, I've got in a fight with a copper. It's like, but you know, and again, that whole situation was like, well, and if you say you've got PTSD, no one can say that you haven't. You can get away with it. And I'm like, no, listen, I've done that wrong. Right? Yeah, I've done this wrong. Yeah, I've shouted. Yeah, I wanted to walk off set. I wanted to do this. It's like, I don't get things right all the time, but I don't pretend that I'm perfect, because I'm not. And guess what? Yeah. The moment you start to think that you're perfect, you're not going to get things wrong, then guess what? Then you're going to be lying to yourself. And then guess what? You're going to live a lie. Yeah. So I think that's why people can relate to me, because I can go, do you know what? Yeah, I said that, but they're my views. I don't really, change. Yeah, I've maybe been, asked to say this, but they're my views. They're my values. That's what I actually believe in. Yeah. And it's.
And I think you're always
a trait that I never change.
Yeah, I think there's always you can't get praise and support without criticism and challenge, right? They both kind of go together. My wife didn't challenge what I did. Sometimes I'd get carried away. She just sometimes brings me back down to earth, so I don't get carried away with myself. Yeah.
Do you know what? My wife does the same. And she brings me back down to earth all the time. But it's really strange, Paul, because to be a extremely confident, positive alpha male is, people draw strength from that. Real people draw strength from that. But oh my God, does it upset the woke? Does it upset the snowflakes? Does it upset that sort of PC agenda, the PC world, PC? And it's just like, that's who I am. Do you know what I mean? It's like,